another mystery is coming up. And that mystery is that Jesus Christ of Nazareth died on a Good Friday afternoon, and he resurrected on a Sunday morning. And that's supposed to be 3 days and 3 nights. Now, I'm sorry, but I don't care how good of a calculator you have, you cannot fit 3 days and 3 nights in a Good Friday crucifixion to an Easter Sunday morning. What you get is 2 nights and 1 day. Now, a lot of people try to, because they want to cling on to this tradition, they come up with a lot of this mumbo jumbo that you read on the internet and on books about a part of 3 days and 3 nights, the Onah theory as they call it. And they get this from the Babylonian Talmud, from Rabbi Eleazar. And it says here, a day and a night are an Onah, meaning a portion of time. And the portion of an Onah is as the whole of it. And they say, well, it's part of 3 days and 3 nights. So you look at the Review and Herald. This is an official publication of the Seventh-day Adventists. They list several texts, and they try to work this man-made tradition into these texts. And they say that 3 days means no more than a day and 1/2. And then they wonder why these people lose their audience, or their audience has a lot of questions. You're trying to convince me that a day and 1/2 means 3 days and 3 nights? And they come up with a lot of this mumbo jumbo, a lot of this reasoning, and they write all these sorts of books trying to prove to you that Good Friday and Easter Sunday morning is 3 days and 3 nights. What's the problem? Is the problem the scriptures? Well, obviously the problem is man's traditions. They believe in Good Friday, Easter Sunday, and they try to work it into the Bible. And they come up with a lot of this mumbo jumbo of part of 3 days and 3 nights. Now, I want to read you what Bullinger's says about this. Now, we must remember, Jesus said plainly in Matthew, the 12th chapter and verse 40, for as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. Jesus didn't say, as Esther fasted, or as the Talmud says. He gave the example of Jonah. And this was the only sign to the Jews and the world that he was the Messiah. Good Friday to Easter Sunday is not 3 days and 3 nights, and that is not the sign that he was the Messiah. But when you look at the chronology that we find in the gospel accounts, and we put the scriptures together in the gospel accounts, you will see that Jesus died and was resurrected exactly 3 days and 3 nights, just as he said he would. And you can prove it in the gospel accounts that we'll get to later on in the program. But look what Bullinger's Companion Bible says in Appendix 144. He says, the fact that 3 days is used by Hebrew idiom for any part of 3 days and 3 nights is not disputed, because that was the common way of reckoning. But, however, he says, when the number of nights is stated as well as the number of days, then the expression ceases to be an idiom and becomes a literal statement of fact. Moreover, as the Hebrew day began at sunset, the day was reckoned from one sunset to another. The 12 hours in a day that you read of in John the 11th chapter, verse 9, where Jesus says, are there not 12 hours in a day? And then the next verse, he distinguished it from the night. So obviously there's 12 hours in a night. So night and day are a full 24-hour period. Being reckoned from sunrise and the 12 hours of the night from sunset, and evening and morning was thus used for a whole day of 24 hours, as in the first chapter of Genesis. Hence the expression a night and a day. In 2 Corinthians, the 11th chapter, verse 25, the Apostle Paul makes it clear a night and a day is a full 24-hour period. Now also, Mr. Alfieri, in his Darkness at the Crucifixion, pages 156 to 158, plainly says that an Onah, now what you get here from these people that try to prove part of one day, part of a day is 3 days and 3 nights, or 3 days and 3 nights are part of 3 days and 3 nights, you don't get the complete story. He says that you get one opinion, but you do not get the alternate view of Onah. And he plainly says here that Onah can also mean a 24-hour period. According to the rabbis, both the full 24-hour day and any small fraction of a few hours or less are sometimes called an Onah. So an Onah can also mean a full 24-hour period. It's a lengthy quote. I won't read it all, but you can read it fully online on our website, britishisrael.ca. You can download it free of charge, our booklet, Christ's Resurrection on the Seventh Day Sabbath. Free of charge off our website, britishisrael.ca. You can download it there. And of course, we'll put the link underneath the YouTube player and you can download it straight from there as well.